And welcome to Syncta. My name is Brock and I'm with the customer success team. Today we're just going to go through a few things just to help get you onboarded a little bit easier. So the first thing we want to let you know is that the customer success team here at Syncta is here for you no matter what you need help with, whether it's an issue or if you need some additional training or just have a question for us. You can reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you out there. So there's a few different ways that you can get a hold of us depending on what you prefer. The easiest way is the chat feature that's built into each page of our application. Just click in the bottom right hand corner down here. It'll open up for you and you can start a new conversation with the team. We'll get back to you just as soon as we can there. All right, so now you know how to get a hold of us. Let's now talk about a couple of tools that we've built into our application to make getting started a little bit easier. So the first thing that we have is our onboarding checklist, and you'll find that down in the bottom left-hand corner. So if you click on that and open it up, you're going to find 11 tasks within the checklist. Each one of these is going to walk you through step by step how to do something. It's just like somebody's sitting there telling you what to do, so it makes it really easy to learn the task. It'll walk you through basic things like setting up your company information, adding additional users and your gauges, things that way, all the way through adding customers, locations, and even backflow assemblies. And then you can walk through scheduling tests and performing them. So definitely highly encourage every new user to get started with that onboarding checklist, and it'll teach you how to do everything you need to know to get started. That checklist will be there for you for the first 30 days or until you complete each one of the tasks. Once it goes away, you can always find that down in the self-help tab here. So if you just click on the self-help option there, you'll see your onboarding checklist here. We can expand it to see the options. There are some additional walkthroughs in here, so as you become a little bit more advanced, if you want to know how to set up routes, there's a great walkthrough in here for that. All right, the other tool that we have built into our application, if we scroll down to the very bottom in the left-hand navigation, you'll see the support option here. So if we open this up, you're going to see that we have hundreds of articles in here. You can just type in some keywords or a question you might have, and we're going to display all the related articles there. So click on an article, you'll open it up and you'll see that there's going to be some text, images, and sometimes even videos explaining how to do something. So it's a really great resource if you're somebody that likes to try to find out an answer on your own. You can just pop in here and look for that. If not, again, have that little chat feature down here, open it up and ask your question to the team. All right, so now you know how to get a hold of us, and you also know what tools that we have that are there to help you out. So the next thing, we're just going to walk through some basic navigation of the system, just so that way you don't feel completely lost once you log in. So the first thing when you log in is the dashboard. This is the first page that you're always going to go to. The dashboard is meant to be a jumping off point for you. So these numbers will increment as you start to utilize the system. And it's really handy. You just click on the item that you'd like to go to and it's going to take you directly to that page. So these are tests that are ready to be reviewed, and I just clicked right on it. It took me directly to that page to be able to review those tests. You can also navigate using this left-hand navigation bar here. As you'll see, we're under tests and review tests here. So we can also scroll down. You'll see our invoicing notifications. Depending on what features you have, it's a great way to jump around. Up at the top, we have our new button, so we can easily add a new customer by hitting new and then customer. It'll take us right to the new customer entry page. The other thing up at the top here is the search bar. So the search bar is going to be a really powerful tool for you. You're going to be able to search based off of any piece of information you have in the system, such as a customer name, an address, phone number, meter number, serial number, anything that way. Just start typing in here, and we're going to display the top 5 results that match here for you. If you don't find what you're looking for within those top 5 results, you can hit the magnifying glass here and we'll take you to the complete search results page. So with the complete search results page, you can actually do some additional filtering out here. For instance, if you only want to look at devices and you don't want to look at all the customers and service locations, change this to devices and then hit the refresh button, and now you'll only look at device results. The other thing to mention here is that you can include deleted records. So when you delete a customer or a device in Syncta, it's not a hard delete, it's only a soft delete. So you can actually search based on that deleted record, and when you find it, you can even restore it so that way you can continue to use it if needed. All right, the next thing over in the top right-hand corner is your name. If you click on that, you're going to see My Profile. Here is where you can update your password related to your account. And as a tester, if we scroll down, you're going to be able to see where you can update your certification information and expiration date, as well as your gauge and calibration dates here. Lastly, as a tester, you're going to want to make sure you add your signature in here. Every user will need to log into their own account to add their signature. Administrators cannot add signatures on behalf of other users. And I always like to recommend that you use a smartphone or a tablet. come in here with a stylus and you can get a really good signature that way. Of course, practice a couple of times, clear it out, make sure you get to where you're happy with it. And if you have any questions or issues with that, just reach out and we'd be happy to help you out with it. All right, so that's kind of just some basic navigation there. The next thing I'd like to talk about is two major things that we need to make sure that you have straightened out to start using Syncta. So the first one is regarding water purveyors. So here under administration, if we scroll down, we'll see our water purveyors option. And this is where we can add additional water purveyors to the system. So this list are the ones that are currently selected. If you need to work with an additional one, just hit the Add Water Purveyor button here. This is going to take you to a page where we list out all the water purveyors that we have in our system. May have what you're looking for, may not. If you do see what you're looking for, just hit the Select button here to add those in. If you don't find what you're looking for, just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list here, and you'll see the Water Purveyor Not Listed button. You can select that, and then you can enter in a name for a water purveyor that might be in your area. You can add a phone number and email if you have it, but those are not required. And then just go ahead and hit the Submit button. So this is going to add those water purveyors to your list. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go through these and make sure that they're accurate for you. Some of this data may not be accurate. It's old information we found on the internet. So you'll want to go through here and edit each one of these water purveyors, and we're going to make sure that they're set up to be the correct submission method, as well as any pertinent information like an email address or a phone number here. So for instance, with this one, if they allow me to send test reports to them via email, I would want to change the report submission method to email, and then I would want to add their email address into the field here. The other thing we can do is add additional emails. So if they have more than one, you can add those in here. If they require you to fax it in, you can select our fax option here and then enter in the fax number, and that will actually send an electronic fax directly from Syncta to the water purveyor. Right, so once you have all your water purveyor list accurate, all the contact information set up, you'll be good on that piece. The next thing we'll just want to talk about is the test report forms. So we do assign a test report form to each one of those water purveyors. We manage that piece for you. If you'd like to see what test report form is currently set up for a water purveyor, the easiest thing you can do is to have a test that's ready to be reviewed. So if we come to our review test page again here, we'll see that we have our example tests in. You'll also have one of these after first enrolling. You can click on the PDF icon here to view the PDF test report form that is set up. And that's what's set up for our example water purveyor currently. So the easiest thing you can do is just change the water purveyor for each device, and you would see the test report form populate here for you. We'll set these up for you free of charge, so if you ever want any changes made to your forms, just reach out to us and let us know. If you can please send us the cleanest copy you have available, we can also set that up for you. If we don't have it in our database, it usually takes us about a week to set up a new test report form. So get those over to us as soon as you can, so that way you don't have to worry about any last minute changes there. All right, something else while we're on the review test page, I'd just like to make sure everybody is aware of. After you perform a test, it comes to the review test page. The idea with this is to pull up that PDF report form, make sure it looks good, and then to approve that test. After you approve the test, nothing has been sent out. It's going to go off to the submit test section. The submit is the final step in the submission process to actually get this report out. If it's an email submission like this, when you hit submit email, it is going to automatically send the email to the water purveyor with that email address we had previously set up, and it will also send a copy of that to the customer if you have that setting enabled under company options. Once that's done though, that's it. Just make sure until you come to the submit test page and hit the submit button, nothing's gone out. All right, one last thing we're going to cover here real quick with you today, and that's just entering your data into this system. So of course you can pop in here and hit new customer, and you can manually enter all your data in. So manually type it in, have your customer information, then add their locations, and then add their devices. But we also have the ability to help you with importing data. So for instance, if you're coming from another system and you're able to export that to Excel, we have an import template. If you can place your data into this import template here, we can then import that for you into Syncta. So it'll save you a lot of time there. There is a fee associated with that data import. It's just to cover our costs with the labor as well as with geolocating the addresses that we import. If you're interested though, we can get you a quote back with what we believe it would cost to do an import, and we'd be happy to share this template with you. The other way that we can import data for you is going to be with a QuickBooks account. So if you happen to be using QuickBooks today, we can import your customer information from there. So it's kind of basic. It's just going to be your customer name here, and it would be their phone number, email address, and then the mailing address here as well. So that's all we can pull in from QuickBooks, but at least it's a head start for you, and then you can add all the devices in there. Anyways, that's all we want to cover today here. Hope that was helpful for you. Once you go through the onboarding checklist, again, which we highly encourage all of our new users to go through, we'd be happy to set up additional training with you. Also bring in any of your technicians, anybody else at the company that needs to learn. We'll do a whole group session, get you on a webinar, and get everybody going with Syncta.